What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to show it to you right now. This is the new album from the band Autopsy, entitled Tourniquets, Hacksaws, and Graves. This is released on Peaceville Records. Now, to make a long story short, Autopsy are based out of Oakland, California, and these guys are absolute pioneers, legends, and probably one of the most recognizable names within the old school death metal underground. I mean, this band has made such a legacy for themselves with their first couple of albums, and ever since then they have just become so memorable and get stuck within the psyche of metalheads, just with Severed Survival and Mental Funeral, just absolute death metal classics, probably some of the greatest death metal albums of all time, in my opinion. Even the next two that came after that, I really, really loved and enjoyed. They were different, but I felt that they were still unique for what Autopsy set out to do. I mean, albums like Acts of the Unspeakable and Shit Fun, really, really entertaining records. But then, of course, there was the hiatus. Everybody went on to do different things and work on different music stuffs. But then, I want to say around 2008, 2010, Autopsy came back into the forefront. It slowly started off with the 5-track EP, the Tomb Within. Just some really, really amazing, amazing music. It showed you that Autopsy still had it, and they could definitely bring forth something new to the table again. And 2011 was their big hurrah, their big comeback record with Macabre Eternal. That album is just so incredibly... It's a huge record. And they said with big, bold words that they're back. And they came back with Macabre Eternal, and that was an amazing album. And then in 2013, with The Headless Ritual, basically stripping things back down just a little bit. And it really, really sounded phenomenal. Yeah, it was an awesome record, and it was in my top 20 last year, and I still consider that album to be absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, when word got out that Autopsy were in the studio and they were about to make a brand new album, I was very surprised. I'm surprised that they would come out with an album so quickly. You would think that for a band of their caliber, it would take a couple of years to make. But this got only cranked out in no less than 10 months. And now here we are with the 7th full-length album from Autopsy, entitled Tourniquets, Hacksaws, and Graves. It's 12 tracks, and it clocks in at around 49 minutes in length. And to be perfectly honest, I've given this album lots and lots of plays. I mean, I've spun it on CD and vinyl, just to get different ideas of how things are. And honestly, I believe what they did is with this album, they took what they had on The Headless Ritual, they refined it, they tweaked things just a little bit, and they came back with an album that not only, in my opinion, tops The Headless Ritual, but it could possibly be something that could be seen as something that stands right next to their classic material. Notably Mental Funeral, because I pick up a lot of Mental Funeral vibes with this particular album. I mean, take the track Savagery. That's the opening track. It starts off with a bang. It's fast. It's relentless. It is just such a cutthroat type of song. And then for the next 11 tracks down, you're going to get a more refreshed and revived sort of Autopsy. And I think it's absolutely insane that these guys who have been doing this for so long can create something very fresh and something new. I mean, of course, they're not reinventing anything with their kind of lyrical content or style, but then again, they don't need to. They don't need to make anything new. They don't need to revamp their lyrical content or anything like that. They have their own formula, and they make it work every single time. And this is just an absolutely phenomenal listen. It just goes by so smoothly. I honestly think this is a better produced record too. This is probably one of the best sounding Autopsy albums I've heard in a while. I want to say this could potentially top the production of the last two Autopsy records. I mean, every instrument, every vocal pattern, every certain instance of the way this album is mixed and produced, it really does bring out the best of this band. I mean, from the guitar work that just goes on throughout this entire record, it is just mesmerizing. Eric Cutler and Danny Corrales are probably one of the best guitar duos in death metal and in the metal underground today. And they showcase why they are so amazing and so good at their craft. I mean, Savagery, King of Flesh Ripped, The Howling Dead, uh, Forever Hungry, Teeth of the Shadow Horde. Just absolutely phenomenal, phenomenal stuff. I love the riffs. I love the interplay between the two. I love the solos. They are incredibly crackling, as per usual with any sort of Autopsy record. Just incredible, incredible guitar work. Joe's bass work is incredible too. I really, really love the way the bass tone is being handled here. It feels very warm. It feels very comfortable. It feels very natural sounding for a death metal record, and it definitely serves its purpose quite well. Joe's been an incredible addition to the band, and he has delivered great performance after great performance on every single record. And I would say he is a vital, vital piece to the legacy of Autopsy. And with this performance on the new album, it really, really shows you why he belongs there, and he just delivers a great, great performance. Um, Now we move on to the drums. The crazy man known as Chris Reifert. Um, I want to say his drum performance is probably one of the most inspired and incredible drum performances I've heard him do on any record, because he delivers a very, very old school style approach to his drumming, but yet he can be incredibly creative. He can deliver some very, very unique and interesting fills and rolls. Just the overall vibe and atmosphere of the drum performance just sounds really, really phenomenal. I'm really, really appreciating the just the patterns, the syncopations, just the creativity of his drum performance just sounds absolutely phenomenal. And since we're on the topic of Chris Reifert, let's get on to his vocal style. Of course, one of the most recognizable voices in all of death metal, his vocal style is incredibly distinct, but yet his vocal performance on here definitely brings back shades of the older Autopsy days. I mean, going back to uh, King of Flesh Ripped, and then the title track. I think it's an absolutely amazing, amazing vocal performance. And then you get to a track like Autopsy. They have a self-titled track. And I definitely would say that's a song that is definitely somewhat of a culmination of what Autopsy have done throughout the years. And within the confines of that one particular song, it doesn't feel celebratory to be, smug or anything like that. It's a track that really, really shows you that Autopsy know exactly why they do what they do and how they deliver their job done. They get the job done. Wow. It's just an absolutely fantastic track. So overall, I definitely think this is a much, much more improved and carefully detailed record than the Headless Ritual. This is an absolutely barn burner of a record. If you're an Autopsy fan, if you're a fan of old school death metal, if you loved everything that Autopsy has ever done, Tourniquets, Hacksaws, and Graves is definitely a near classic, I would say. And definitely this could see a place within my top 10 or top 20 again. I mean, Autopsy are are the best. So if I had to pick any favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say Savagery, King of Flesh Ripped, The Howling Dead, After the Cutting, Teeth of the Shadow Horde, and the self-titled track Autopsy. Yeah, this album is available on CD format. It is available in this old card with the jewel case. I would have loved to have gotten the media book version, but I will get the media book version another time. There is also the beautiful gatefold LP version. Of course, you have the gatefold with the lyrics. band photos and everything. There's a gigantic poster of the artwork here, and you have a printed inner sleeve with the band photos and credits. And it is on, as per usual, a very, very thick 180 gram style vinyl. Really, really good packaging and attention to detail as per usual Peaceville releases. So again, the album is Tourniquets, Hacksaws, and Graves by Autopsy. This is released on Peaceville Records. Definitely buy this in whatever format you're able to. It is worth owning. And as far as the score is concerned, I'm going to give this a very strong 9.5 out of 10. This is definitely something I could see putting in the year-end list before this year is through. So support Autopsy and support the Metal Underground. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. And until the next time, Armijo out.